These people were watching the same events that you were watching, that we were watching together. They were crunching the same numbers. They were listening to the same noise. And they concluded that black was white, that up was down, that the moon was made of cheese, that unicorns had finally arrived. They concluded that reality didn't matter because what they wanted to see was so overarching and so profoundly believed in that the strength of their convictions and their ludicrous, cultish beliefs could somehow redraw the rules of reality itself. By insisting that something was true when it obviously wasn't, they could make it true. By denigrating and insulting and abusing those of us who've spent years quietly pointing towards reality, quietly insisting that light is better than dark, quietly explaining why these people were talking undiluted bilge on a highly paid and daily basis. They were vile to us, and now all of their chickens have come home to roost almost at exactly the same time, and almost by poetic coincidence, just as Brexit begins finally to completely fall apart in real time and full public view, so Donald Trump's utter depravity, the seditious nature of his conduct in the run-up to January the 6th is becoming undeniable and crystal clear in America, where, thankfully, the determination to cling to the carcass of corruption appears to be much more popular than it is here. Nobody, as far as I can tell, is clinging to the carcass of Liz Truss's premiership. And of course, some people will seek to separate it from the inevitability of recent events lying very much in the shadow of Brexit. But the idea of the Conservative Party as being responsible, as being trustworthy, as being fiscally sound, as having the first idea what they were talking about has been exploded for a generation. So why don't I feel happier? Because I live here, and I love this country, and I never want to live anywhere else. I never have wanted to live anywhere else, and I hate what I see. And the shallow schadenfreude of vindication, the small frisson of delight, perhaps, that you feel when you see some of the people responsible for inflicting this upon us all recognise their folly, or at least acknowledge their mistakes, doesn't fix anything. It doesn't undo anything. It doesn't matter how many times you can scream, "I told you so," from the top of the highest mountain in the country. It doesn't undo the damage that's been done. And I can't think of a better distillation of the last 6 years than the fact that today a Conservative Chancellor of the Exchequer will seek to restore a modicum of stability to the United Kingdom's economic situation by completely dismantling and disowning policies announced by his own government less than 4 weeks ago. Pause and think. This is not normal. This is what happens when the ruling class is permitted, largely by a supine and sycophantic media and a gaslit population, to detach itself from observable and objective reality, to abandon truth, to denigrate evidence. This is what happens. You prioritize belief over fact. You prioritize opinion over expertise. You prioritize demagoguery over evidence. This is where you end up, with somebody standing up full of vim and vigour, full of confidence. You just heard my recollections of those cheerleaders describing it as being intellectually incredible and confident. All of these people, all of these vampires who've sucked the blood from the body politic of Britain over the last 6 years, cheered this aberration to the rafters. They'd have carried Kwasi Kwarteng through the streets on their shoulders that weekend, even as the pound had a fit of the vapours. They claimed it would soon pass. But it doesn't, because they have rendered us small. They have rendered us less relevant than we have ever been before. And they have done it on the promise that it would make us stronger, that it would make us great again. They've withdrawn us from a massive global economic bloc, which leaves us absolutely blowing in the wind of market forces while claiming that they were taking back control. They have sacrificed everything. They've bet the house on a promise of growth while still being beset by senior members within their own ranks who are diametrically, psychologically, pathologically opposed to immigration. So we're going to have growth while we reduce the number of workers that can come into the country. They've bet the house on a xenophobic, jingoistic fever dream, and they've lost the lot.